Vandeham Shri Guru Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsam.
Hey Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to the golden episode of Pariprashna. Yes, you guessed that right. So we have been having this countdown and finally here we are. This is the 50th episode of Pariprashna. So it is only because of the costless mercy of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada and the continued blessings and the active guidance of His Holiness Bhakti Padma Pracharak Swami Maharaj. And last but not the least, because of all your constant ongoing support, we are able to reach this milestone. And I hope and pray that because of the continued mercy and blessings of Maharaj Krishna and Prabhupada, that I hope that this will be just one of the many more milestones to come for Pariprashna. So let's go ahead and get started with today's discussion. So we are discussing the last section, the last 9 chapters of Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, from chapters 25 to 33, which covers the discussion, the conversation between Kapila Muni and his glorious mother Devahuti. So already we have seen that Kapila Dev has explained about the glories of Bhakti Yoga, and then he's also talked about in the previous chapter, that is the 26th chapter, about Sankhya Yoga, the various material elements manifestation, their characteristics, and even towards the fag end touched a little bit upon the Virat Rupa as well. So today we hope and we are hoping to cover 2 chapters, that is chapter number 27 and 28. So 27 is kind of a continuation of the previous chapter wherein Kapila Dev is going to talk about Jnana Yoga, and then in 28th chapter he is going to talk about Ashtanga Yoga in a pretty great detail. So we have a lot to cover. So as always, let's go ahead and continue to inquire and learn from His Holiness Bhakti Padma Pracharaka Swami Maharaj. So Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, in this chapter 26, which is titled chapter 27 actually, Understanding Material Nature. In the very first section, the Jiva, the living entity in conditioned state, is discussed by Kapila Dev. So Jiva inherently, Atma is Satchidananda, it is eternal, it is full of knowledge, and it is also completely blissful. So this Jiva, the eternal soul, which is transcendental and completely spiritual, how come that it is becoming conditioned by material nature?
Yeah, it's a very important question, and it has been discussed many times by great acharyas. But there is no definite answer for it. There could be only an indication for it. The history of the conditioning is a time immemorial, means we don't know when it is.
Okay.
And there are 2 opinions about it. That is, there was a time when it happened. Another one is it has never happened because the Jiva, Nitya Baddha, is eternally conditioned. So we're not going to get into the argument with who is right, who is wrong. But the principle is Krishna Bairmukho hoy bhogavancha kore, nigatasthamaya japatiya dhare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives an indication. The conditioning is because of forgetfulness of Krishna. Now, when it happened, you cannot talk about it because if you say in the spiritual world, there is no question of time. There is no influence of time. So you cannot say when. So best is to accept that we are Nitya Baddhas, and right from the dawn of creation, we were bound. We came from Sankarshana, and we came from the previous creation where there was bondage. So conditioned consciousness is there right from the previous creation itself.
Okay.
So you don't have to ask when, but we can say why. The reason is forgetfulness of Krishna. So that is the cause of bondage, because knowledge means to know your connection with Krishna. Knowledge means to know that I am servant of Krishna. And when I forget that I am servant of Krishna, then we forget Krishna. And that situation is ignorance. That ignorance causes bondage. And again, continued birth, death, etc., etc.
So Maharaj, that's a very good segue to my next question. So here in the second verse, it is said, Sa eshayar hi prakriter guneshu abhivishajyate aham kriya vimudhatma karta smityabhimanyate. When the soul is under the spell of material nature and false ego, identifying his body as the self, he becomes absorbed in material activities, and by the influence of false ego, he thinks that he is the proprietor of everything. So, Maharaj, just now you indicated that forgetfulness of the jiva's eternal relationship with Krishna is the root cause of all the suffering and material activities and all that. So, also here it is said the false identification, identifying his body as the self, influence of false ego. So, how does this become an impetus for the repeated birth and death of the jiva?
Now, what is the meaning of false ego? Karta asmi iti manyate, abhimanyate. Ahang kriya vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. The soul has nothing to do with material activities. But the ahankara, which is the thing which binds us to this world, he thinks that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. So in the conditioned state of consciousness, this mood is there, that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. I am the doer. The soul is not the doer.
Okay.
So this is called ahankara, false ego. So false ego is the thing which actually makes us to take birth again and again and again. The real ego is to be servant of Krishna, and false ego is to think that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, I am Ishvara. Ishwaroham ham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. That is demonic mentality. And for the demonic mentality, there is no chance for him to be in the spiritual world. So he continues his mental existence as long as he thinks that he is God. But the moment he thinks I'm servant of God, and he goes to the spiritual world, as simple as that. Now the ahankara means false ego. If there is something called false ego, there should be a real ego. What is real ego? That I'm servant of Krishna. So if you are in the false ego, then you'll be in a false place. If you are in the real ego, you'll be in a real place. As simple as that.
So Maharaj, this platform of working, kartaham iti manyate, to falsely think that I am the doer, is that what is called in the verse number 3 saying karma doshaihi, faulty work? So anything from that notion that I am the doer, does that by default become faulty work? Karma doshaihi?
Any work done on the bodily platform of ahankara, it will be having dosha. And that dosha will be continuing in sad asan mishra yonishu. Mishra yonishu. The Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita also talks about it. Karanam gunasangasya sadasad yoni janmashu. Different kinds of janmas, what we get. Good, bad, ugly, all janmas are because of ahankara. And ahankara makes us to act in such a way that we are going to take birth in the next life. It may be very high birth, it may be low birth. But ahankara makes you take birth in the next life.
Okay. So Maharaj, moving on to the next verse, that is the fourth verse. Arte hyavidyamanepi samsritirna nivartate dhyayato vishayanasya swapne narthagamo yatha. Actually, a living entity is transcendental to material existence, but because of his mentality of lording it over material nature, his material existential condition does not cease, And just as in a dream, he is affected by all sorts of disadvantages. So, Maharaj, not only in this shloka where this example of a dream and wakefulness state is given, Srila Prabhupada also often uses this example of dreaming to explain material entanglement. So, how does this analogy help us understand our conditioned state? That self realization is described as a wakeful state, and material life is compared to a dreaming state.
In the dream, sometimes you see a tiger is attacking you, and you're running and running and running, running. All of a sudden, you wake up, you find there's no tiger, but there is only experience of tiger attacking you. You have a fear, the whole body is sweating, your heartbeat has increased, and you're in fear.
Mhm.
So there is no tiger, but still fear is there. Hmm. So in the same way, there is no death, but still you experience death. There is no misery for the soul, but still you experience it.
Mm.
It is because of sleeping. Sleeping means what? Ignorance.
Mhm.
So it is because of ignorance only I think that I am going to die.
Mhm.
Because there is no death for the soul.
Mm.
As much as in a dream there is no tiger, but still you think there is a tiger. And you are affected by the tiger. You experience the fear of having a tiger. And the same way happiness.
Mhm.
Sometimes in the dream you feel that, oh, I'm flying in the air. Many fairies are along with me. Angels are there.
Mm.
I'm so happy. But you wake up and then see that your wife is shouting at you and children are quarreling. You back to the same thing.
Mm.
So both happiness and misery of this world has nothing to do with the soul.
Mm.
Sometimes people say, Atma इच्छा पूरा करो, but it's not आत्मा का इच्छा.
Mm.
It is a desire of the mind. When you are satisfying it, then you feel I'm happy. When you're dissatisfied, you think I'm unhappy, but it has nothing to do with the soul.
Mm.
As much as a person in dream, his experiences in a dream has nothing to do with him.
Mm.
The same way, the experiences in this world has nothing to do with the soul.
Mm.
They're all unreal.
Mm. So, Maharaj, you have emphatically stated that it has nothing to do with the soul, it is all unreal, but still, how come it seems very real to the jiva? Right now, for me, my to do list for today seems very real. The people around me, my family and friends, seem very real. My happiness and distress also seems to me very real. So, although the whole material world is illusory, how come for me as a jiva, everything does seem very real and palpable?
Because you identify yourself with the body,
Mhm.
and that is ignorance. Ignorance means sleep.
Mhm.
As much as in sleep you don't know the tiger doesn't exist, actually you feel it is existing.
Mhm.
So we are also in the same state of ignorance. That ignorance makes us think in this way,
Okay.
that I am affected by it.
Mhm.
This house is mine, this is mine, that is mine.
Mhm.
And I'm hurt because of he saying something. But these things have nothing to do with the soul.
Mhm.
Like, for example, the fish out of water. If you give some nice air conditioned room for the fish, so what it has got to do with the fish, tell me?
Mhm.
The fish is still suffering, struggling,
Mhm.
just because of you giving air conditioned room, nice food to eat, nice drinks to drink.
Mhm.
And they have nothing to do with the fish.
Mhm.
So, in spite of all the so called comforts and all the achievements, but this has nothing to do with soul. All the miseries, nothing to do with the soul.
Mhm.
The soul is beyond all these things, as much as the real suffering of the fish is it is out of water. What is matter to the fish? If you're giving air conditioned room or it is very on a hot stone, because the suffering of the fish is so intense, that is, it is out of water, that these things don't matter to the fish. But still, we are so concerned about the external happiness and miseries of this world that we forget the real misery which we are experiencing, that is forgetfulness of Krishna.
Okay, got it. So here in the 5th verse now, Kapila Dev is going to talk about liberation of the jiva from the conditioned state. Ata eva shanaischittam prasaktam asatam pathi bhakti yogena tivrena viraktya chanayedvasham. It is the duty of every conditioned soul to engage his polluted consciousness, which is now attached to material enjoyment, in very serious devotional service with detachment. Thus, his mind and consciousness will be under full control. So, Maharaj, so which is the yoga process? Of course, here he's saying Bhakti Yogena Tivrena, but however, he also talks about Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. So, what are these various yogic processes to achieve liberation, and which one is the best? And why is that repeatedly it is not just Bhakti Yoga, but Tivrena Bhakti Yogena? What is this intense devotional service that we have to practice?
Tivrena Bhakti Yogena refers to pure devotional service without mixture of jnana and karma.
Okay.
That is, practicing the angas of bhakti with great sincerity, accepting Krishna as the Supreme Lord, accepting that my goal of life is to please Krishna. Bhajaniya param purusha sukham hi sukhatvam. Krishna sukha is my sukha. If somebody conducts his life like that, that is called Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. So it is only by bhakti one can control the mind and senses very easily. Other processes are very difficult. But still, Krishna says, Kapila says that I am going to describe to you about the process of yoga in this chapter. Because somebody may come and say, oh, are you practicing yoga? Bhakta will be bewildered. No. That's very important process. It's very famous. So not to be bewildered by these words of people. So he gives knowledge about this yoga system also. Yeah.
So Maharaj, here Srila Prabhupada mentions that only by devotion can yoga bear fruit. So that means whether it is Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, only if it is having devotion along with it can it bear fruit, otherwise it does not. So what makes devotion indispensable even for other yogic processes? I think you already explained this in the previous episodes, but since in this context it is again being brought out, so if you can please revisit that and re-explain, that will be really helpful.
Yes. The different yogic processes are not very natural because it involves so many endeavors from our side, thinking that it is by my endeavor I am going to achieve success. That is the reason they are difficult to perform and they are not natural. Whereas bhakti is a thing which is very natural. Because in bhakti, the basic fundamental feature of bhakti is surrender to Krishna. So when you are surrendered, then that is a natural condition of the living entity to be surrendered. So in that surrender, you are dependent on Krishna and you are going to perform bhakti to Krishna out of love. And even though you may not achieve perfection, still you will be pleasing Krishna. When you please Krishna, then Krishna gives the siddhi. It is very difficult for me to attain Krishna, but for Krishna to attain me is not very difficult. That's the crux of devotional service, of dependence on Krishna. In Bhakti, you can do as much as you can, whereas in other processes, it is not like that. Unless you do perfectly, you will not attain the perfection which they give. So, what is the thing which is required for Bhakti? That is simplicity. Those who are simple-hearted, Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple, complicated for the complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Maharaj, not only is bhakti natural, but isn't it that in bhakti, okay, here we are doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Padasevanam, all that. So even after, because here Kapila Dev is talking about liberation, beyond liberation also, even in the spiritual world, those are the exact same activities we will continue to do. But however, let's say in Ashtanga Yoga, this Yama, Niyama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, all these different things, but that's not necessarily what they do after liberation. And in Jnana Yoga also, there is one process one has to follow here. But beyond liberation, it's again, they also have to eventually come to Bhakti Yoga only. It's going to be different.
Ultimately, one has to become a bhakta to go back home to spiritual world, because what is there in spiritual world is only bhakti. You don't find in spiritual world somebody standing upside down and somebody is arguing with some philosophical points. No. So these people, actually, they never attain liberation. Because even though they attain the highest stage, they think that Krishna's body is material. Because of that offense, they come back to this material world. Again. Aruhe krichena param padam patantyadaha. Aruhe krichena param padam. Even after achieving the highest position, but still they fall down because of anadritaha vishwadangreha. There is no adar, there is no respect for the lotus feet of Krishna. They think that body of Krishna is made up of matter. Because of that, they fall down.
So is it accurate, Maharaj, to say that without devotion, devoid of devotion, no other yogic process can actually give liberation?
Karma, jnana and yoga, all the three are dependent on bhakti. Even to give their own result, they have to have bhakti.
Okay.
Like for example, karma. To give you more very famous, or not famous, which can be people can relate to. Now you have Ganesh Pandals and you have Ganesh Utsav. They do Aarti at the end. They sing Jai Ganesh, and what is the last thing which they sing? After doing all these things, at the end they say, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That is what they chant. Why? Ganesh is there, Durga Pandal is there, but ultimately they have to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Why? Now, at the end of every puja, it may be Ganesh puja or Durga puja or any puja. Now Durga puja is going on. A Brahmana comes and get the puja done from you. At the end, he puts tulsi in your hand, put some water, and then say, Krishna Arpanamastu. He never says Durga Arpanamastu. Why? That is Durga puja, na? So unless you do Krishna Arpana, the puja done for Durga, you will not get the benefit. You will not get the result. This karma. Even for jnana also. So there are three kinds of jnanis. One who practice jnana and they have misconception about the forms of the Lord, they fall down.
Okay.
There are some jnanis, they perform jnana. At the same time, they perform bhakti as a subsidiary principle. They get the result of Brahma, the result of jnana.
Okay.
That is of merging in Brahman. Mukti, they get mukti. And the third kind of jnani is practicing jnana. By the association of a pure devotee, his heart changes and get attracted to Krishna, like the four Kumaras and Sukadeva Goswami. They are Gyanis, but by the association of pure devotee Tulasi, so four Kumaras, they became pure devotees. And by associating with the disciples of Vyasa who chanted Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami became a pure devotee as a pastime. So this shows that Bhakti is independent of karma, jnana and yoga. Whereas karma, jnana and yoga are dependent on Bhakti. Like Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter says, Omityekaksharam brahma vyavaram mamanasmaran. You practice the process of yoga, but ultimately you think of me while chanting Om. Oh. While chanting Om, you should think of Krishna. That means Bhakti. Otherwise, if you don't do that, it's only a futile exercise. You'll become all asanas which you have done, everything becomes futile.
Okay. Wonderful, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, before I ask my next question, so since this is the 50th episode, few of the devotees have sent their feedback in the form of a write-up. So, I'll just here and there read a few of them. So, this is from Jambavati Dhara Mataji from Vapi, Gujarat. So, she's written a long note. Maybe I'll not be able to read the whole thing, just a few things here and there. So, Hare Krishna, Panchang Pranam to His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saurabh Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas present here. All glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I request Maharaj, Aradhana Mataji and the entire team of Pariprashna to kindly accept my deepest gratitude for creating such a divine podcast and reaching the milestone of 50th episode. Congratulations to everyone. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had declared in Antyakanda of Chaitanya Bhagavat, Prithivite Ache Yata Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachara Highway Moranam. So His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada made his prophecy a reality by establishing a worldwide organization ISKCON. And now in this today's digital world of YouTube podcast, what can be a better service than this divine podcast? And then she goes on to say, 50th episode is not just a number, but it is a true celebration of the light of wisdom and solace you have continuously delivered episode by episode for the spiritual progress, the true seekers across the globe. It is so wonderful. And for me personally, this podcast has been serving as a personal guru. Each episode of Pariprashna has been a guiding lamp, which is bringing clarity, strength, and peace of mind in the most healing way through the teachings of the true knowledge, through the teachings of the scriptures. This podcast has also been a sacred companion of my spiritual journey, of uplifting me as and when I felt low, inspiring me to stay connected with the higher truths, and giving me the courage to face life with faith and calmness. I am extremely grateful to you, Maharaj and Mataji, for this. And then she goes on to say, I pray to Srila Prabhupada, may this beautiful offering of yours continue to grow and touch countless more hearts. May this divine podcast journey ahead be filled with even greater light, blessings, and inspiration. All the blessings to you, Mataji, and thank you very much, Maharaj. Jai Srila Prabhupada, your humble servant, Jambavati Dhara Devi Dasi. So thank you very much, Mataji, for that heartfelt note. So Maharaj, continuing forward. So Maharaj, here in the verses 7 to 11, about 5 verses, so many wonderful qualities are being described, what we have to develop in order to become a good yogi, a practitioner. So similarly in Bhagavad Gita also, we see in chapter 12, the last 8 shlokas, 13 to 20th verse in chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, Krishna also describes amazing qualities. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sthita Prajna section, there also amazing qualities of a Sthita Prajna. So what do these qualities, what role does it play in us developing these qualities for us to make tangible spiritual progress?
It is like complementary to each other. The more you practice devotional service, the more qualities one develops. The more the qualities develop, the more easier you can and better you can practice devotional service. It is not that until unless you have qualities, you cannot practice devotion. It is not like that. You start with bhakti, because bhakti pure devotional service has got 6 lakshanas. That is, first one is Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Lagutakrit, then Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Karshani. So out of which one is known as one quality in Bhakti is Shubhada.
Okay.
And Shubhada means it also has got 3 aspects to it. One is Sadguna Pradatvam. It gives you good qualities. Number 2, it gives you great happiness. And number 3, it gives you all auspiciousness. So, Shubhada has got these 3 features. Out of which one feature is Sadguna Pradatvam. Srila Prabhupada very boldly says that these hippies, they are given up drugs, they give up all bad habits. And they were all being treated by the government very nicely. Sometimes they would be put in a drug rehabilitation center. In spite of all their counseling, psychological treatment and medicines, counseling, they were not able to give up drugs. Whereas by taking up Krishna consciousness, they give up all bad habits. And good qualities manifested in them. So it is the nature of bhakti that gives you good qualities. And by these good qualities, you become more beautiful. Good qualities are actually ornaments of a devotee. So when you perform bhakti, being decorated by these good qualities, then what happens? You please Krishna. And that love which is invested in you by Krishna, that makes your bhakti also very easy and more intense. That gives more qualities. In this way, don't wait for good qualities to manifest to perform bhakti. And neither see somebody who is having bad qualities. He can never perform bhakti, Even a person like Indra who was stealing horses, was so attached to his position. But still, by performing bhakti, he also got good qualities. Daksha, he was tamasic. But ultimately, what happened for him? He got a goat head and all these things. Ultimately, he saw Krishna. And there are good qualities. So, don't have to wait for good qualities to start bhakti. Whereas, with karma, jnana and yoga, you have to wait. You're a small kid, 5-year-old kid. What karma you can do? No, not possible. You have to wait for some time when you become elderly, then you can do. And for jnana, first you should be sannyasi. You should be renounced. Then only you can practice jnana. Somebody went and asked Sripad Shankaracharya, we want to learn Vedanta from you. Shankaracharya, first take sannyas and come.
Oh.
Yeah, for yoga also. There is a prerequisite qualification for all 3 processes. Karma, jnana and yoga. For bhakti, no prerequisite qualification. Even you may be the most sinful person, but still, okay, you can start the process. Good qualities will come. Yeah.
Interesting, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, one of the qualities highlighted here is virakti, vairagya. So, what is the difference between artificial renunciation versus the genuine renunciation that comes as a byproduct of practicing bhakti yoga?
The vairagya which comes out of other processes is asthai. It is not permanent. Like Vishwamitra, he was a great yogi.
Okay.
But what happened? He got controlled by pride. Trishanku, he came and told Vishwamitra, I went to Vasishtha, he did not satisfy my desire. I hope you can satisfy my desire. Yeah, Vishwamitra, what? Vasishtha could not do, I'll do. He sent to Trishanku. All tapasya gone. Then he saw a crow. became very angry. So the crow passed stool on his head. Then anger conquered him after doing 60,000 years of tapasya. Lust conquered him after doing thousands of years of tapasya. Though he was a great Vairagi, but because of not taking shelter of Krishna, all things got lost. The same way Jnani also. It's the same way Karmi also. But Haridas Thakur, on the other hand, he was completely engrossed in chanting the names of the Lord. Maya Devi herself came to test him. But he conquered because of bhakti. It is only by bhakti by one can conquer the senses and the mind. That is why Krishna, he says, Mat Para in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is the meaning of Mat Para? Mat Bhakti Prabhavena Sarvendriya Vijayaha Salabheti Bhava. By the Prabhava, by the influence of Bhakti, Sarvendriya Vijaya, conquering senses, that is called Mat Paraha, and it can be done easily. Sulabheti Bhava.
Okay. So Maharaj, this 12th verse, I had a little difficulty in actually understanding what is being talked about here. So I'll just read it and let you explain it. Yatha jalasta abhasah stalasthenavadrishyate swabhasena tatha suryo jalasthena divistitah. The presence of the Supreme Lord can be realized just as the sun is realized, first as a reflection on water and again as a second reflection on the wall of a room, although the sun itself is situated in the sky. And Prabhupada is writing, the example given herewith is perfect. So can you please explain this, Maharaj, what is being described here?
Okay. Imagine you are sitting in one room, and the room doesn't have a wall, it has glass walls.
Okay.
And just next to that glass wall, there is a swimming pool. So there's a glass wall here, and you're sitting in the room, and there is a swimming pool next to you. There's a swimming pool. There's a swimming pool. There's a glass wall, and you're sitting in the room here. The sun just rose that side. Sun. So what happens? You're sitting in the room, you're not seeing the sun. But what do you see? You find the reflection of the swimming pool, or the water in the swimming pool, onto the wall, onto the right side wall of your room. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Then you see, where is the reflection coming from? Oh, the reflection is coming from the water. You go and see how the water is able to reflect. Where does the reflection of the water come from? It comes from the sun shining in the sky. So, actually, intelligent people first see the manifestation of Paramatma in the body, the senses, and the mind. So, when they ask, where does this manifestation of Paramatma come from? It comes from Jivatma. So you know Paramatma as a sun, and the Jivatma is the swimming pool or the water. And the consciousness, the subtle body, is the wall, reflection in the wall.
Oh, okay.
So by seeing the emotions, what we experience, the science, modern science is not able to explain why we have emotions. Why a mother loves the child. Why? Because if it is just two lump of matter, mother is a lump of matter and child is lump of matter. How do you define emotions? Subtle body. It is because of the presence of soul. So all the different emotions, what is being found in the wall, of subtle body. That means you'll find sometimes different colors, it is moving. It is because of the water, because of the soul, presence of the soul. And here the soul is able to reflect it because of the presence of super soul, because of the sun. In this way, the Dvaita Siddhanta is established, the distinction between body and soul. The distinction between the soul and the super soul are established by this example.
Very intriguing. So, Prabhupada explains many a times in a kind of a rational, logical way how to understand, realize the presence of the soul. So he talks about whose hand is this, whose hair is this, whose bag is this. And then he says, so who is this person who owns all this? Then say it's your body, your hand. So who are you? Then he logically explains, so you are the soul. Soul is the owner and the soul owns all this. So, is there a similar way? Just now you explained through the via media of the consciousness, the emotions that we experience, and the Jivatma, we perceive or we realize the presence of Paramatma. So, is there more to this? How we can, quote unquote, logically understand the presence of Paramatma?
Yes. Paramatma and Jivatma, they are distinct from each other. First, that has to be established. Otherwise, then what happens? Jivatma and Paramatma are one. That is what people think. They understand. So, to give that understanding, this example is given. Of course, there are so many examples which can be given. But the best example is this. Examples are meant to make us understand certain things which cannot be seen with the naked eyes. But there are many things which cannot be explained by our so-called scientific approach. It can only be inferred. So inference has been used to explain that where does emotion come from? It comes because of consciousness. Where is consciousness coming from? The presence of soul. Now, why somebody else has one kind of emotion, seeing the same situation, other has a different kind of emotion? Is it because there are different souls? Yes, there are different souls, individual souls. So then, if there are individual souls, who is the person who is actually making different souls experience different things? There's one common soul, that is the supreme soul or the super soul. So, like that, you can go on having different logic. Another logic is you are sleeping. Sometimes you go to deep sleep, you get up, you don't know whether it's day or night, what time, where I am. When somebody asks you, where are you? What happened? Oh, I had a very nice sleep. Now tell me, practically you are dead. Who experienced that sleep? So there is soul. At the time, your whole subtle body was also sleeping, gross body was also sleeping. But there is an experience that I had a good sleep, I had a happy sleep. So that shows even during the time of Shushupti, completely your whole consciousness is dull. That means whole conscious, you're not conscious at the time. You don't even know you exist. Even at that time, there is an experience that shows there is soul. That shows there's jiva. Then who gave that experience? That is Paramatma. Realization of Atma has to lead to realization of Paramatma. In this way, there are so many ways which which are used by our scriptures to make us explain that there is a distinction between soul and super soul.
So fascinating, Maharaj. So not only you explained, so it is the Paramatma which is making different Atmas experience different things, but can we take it a step further? In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna said Upadrashta, Anumanta, so this Paramatma is actually the witness, he is the permitter, and all those different things. But those are the roles he plays for the non-devotees. But however, in the case of devotees, although they are also Jivatmas, but there Paramatma goes another level. He is not only a witnesser and permitter, but he is also an active participant in the life of a devotee.
Definitely. Upadrashta, Anumanta, Varta, Bhokta, Maheshwara, Paramatma, Chapyukto, Dehesmin, Purusha Paraha. Why is there? The real reason of Paramatma being in our heart is not just Upadrashta, Anumanta. The real reason is to get the jiva back to Godhead. Like when a son goes out of his house, father is very much distressed. So what does he do? He sends his representative along with the boy, behind the boy, without the boy knowing that. And the person tries to convince him, come back to your father, why are you suffering? So though the living entity, we forget Krishna, but Krishna doesn't forget us. As much as the children may forget the parents, but the parents would not forget the child. Like that.
So Maharaj, in this whole thing, how do we distinguish it is my mind that is speaking to me versus it is Paramatma who is guiding me? How do I make this distinction between the two?
If the thoughts are in concurrence with the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, it is Paramatma's guidance.
Okay.
Paramatma will not guide you, which is not in concurrence with the scriptures. So otherwise, it is Paramatma which is guiding you. And for that, you need to have the qualification. Qualification, that means complete control over senses. That is why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita.
Okay. So Maharaj, here liberation is described as it is the process of removing the coverings from the soul. So what are the coverings that we are removing from the soul which can be called liberation?
Covering a foolish soul is, it explained different ways. That is Annamaya Kosha, Gyanamaya Kosha, then you have Pranamaya Kosha, Gyanamaya Kosha. These are koshas, coverings. And other coverings, what is same thing in a different way. You can put the coverings of a subtle body. Okay. It's made of mind, intelligence, false ego, and chitta. So these coverings are gradually dissolved by practicing your devotional service. And gradually, one by one, what happens is these coverings becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. Okay. And they get dissolved. When it is dissolved, that is called liberation.
Does it take conscious effort to dissolve them, Maharaj? The coverings?
Definitely, we should consciously practice bhakti. And dissolution happens automatic.
Nicely put. Okay. So Mother Devahuti is asking further. So here I am jumping to the 17th verse. Sri Devahuti inquired, my dear Brahmana, does material nature ever give release to the spirit soul? Since one is attracted to the other eternally, how is their separation possible? Hence, even though he is the passive performer of all activities, how can there be freedom for the soul as long as material nature acts on him and binds him? So what is this intricate relationship that she's talking about between Prakriti and Purusha, Maharaj? Purusha means the Atma.
So our question is basically, how is it possible to get liberated? In a sense, yes, it is possible by the mercy of Krishna. So, Prakriti never gives up the Lord because of eternal attraction between them. So, Purusham Prakritim Brahman. The eternity, there is eternal connection between Prakriti and Purusha. So now it seems very difficult to attain liberation. And she gives an example further.
Yeah.
As much as you cannot separate the smell, fragrance from earth. So taste from water. So how can this be possible? That Purusha and Prakriti, they can be separated. We find the bondage is there for millions and millions of lifetimes. I don't know how long it is. So since the gunas of Prakriti remain with the jiva and take shelter of the gunas, how can he attain liberation? That is the subject matter.
So Maharaj, in answer to this, Kapila Devi is going to talk about Bhakti Yoga. Maharaj, were you going to say something else? Did I interrupt you or something? No. Okay. So Kapila Dev talks about again Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, how devotion is the essence of yoga and all that. And then the later part of this chapter we see the same soul in the conditioned state, it has this profound effect of material nature. But however, when the soul becomes an enlightened soul, that same soul is unaffected by material nature in spite of being in the material nature. So how is this, Maharaj?
So the question was, how can jiva be liberated? Because Prakriti and jiva seems to be, in one sense, one and the same, seems to be like that. Like a husband and wife, they are in love with so much, they just cannot live without each other. They are one person in two bodies, something like that. So how can they be separated? So then the answer given is, the bondage of the jiva is not because of Prakriti. Prakriti is unconscious. How will it bind? The bondage is because of jiva's attachment.
Okay.
The problem is not in Prakriti, the problem is with jiva, the living entity. Don't blame Maya. Maya, what it can do, tell me. Maya is inferior energy of the Lord. It cannot do anything. But the problem is with you. So when you take the attachment what you have for Prakriti, material nature, when you place that attachment onto Krishna, then liberation is possible. So without bhakti, it is impossible to perform, to be liberated. And what happens to the subtle body then? The subtle body is burned. The example given is food. When you eat food, the power of digestive juices, it digests the food. In the same way, the subtle body is digested. Getting the essence of it. What is that essence? That is bhakti, prema. In this way, externally it seems to be impossible to get liberated, but by the process of bhakti, it is possible. Because the reason of bondage is not Prakriti. The reason for bondage is your attachment. In a very unique way, Krishna also says the same thing in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Arjuna, you are saying karma bandhana is because of karma. So I'll give up karma, so karma bandhana will go away. By giving up karma bandhana will not go away, because karma bandhana is not because of karma. Karma bandhana is because of your attachment. So if you want to give up what? Attachment, not karma. The same way, Prakriti binding you is not because of Prakriti, it is because of your attachment to Prakriti. If you try to give up Prakriti, it is not going to happen. You have to give up your attachment to. The problem is attachment. The problem is not material world.
Right.
The problem is not wife. The problem is not children. The problem is not house. The problem is you. That is called self-realization. The problem is in me, so the solution starts with me. So you practice bhakti, then your affection, which is diverted towards matter, you put it to Krishna. Then, over. Where is material existence? No.
Yeah. Well explained, Maharaj. So in this context, I was just recalling as you were explaining, once in the royal assembly of Janaka Maharaj. So we know Janaka Maharaj was an enlightened soul who even Krishna gave as an example in the same 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So many philosophers would come once the great Ashtavakra Muni walked in, and Janaka Maharaj inquired from Ashtavakra Muni that how can I let go? How can I loosen the grip of this Maya? This Maya is so strong, it is binding me. So Ashtavakra Muni immediately started running out. Everybody was astonished. What is he doing? So they also started running behind him. So Ashtavakra Muni came out of the palace. He went into the royal garden and he embraced one tree tightly and said, "Leave me, leave me, leave me." Everybody started laughing. What is he doing? He is holding the tree and he is telling the tree, "Leave me, leave me." But the wise understood, Janaka Maharaj understood what he is trying to convey. It is not the tree that is holding him. It is he who is holding the tree and he has to let go of it. So similarly, it is not the Maya that is holding us. We out of our attachment are holding on to Maya and we have to let go of it. So what you were explaining also very beautiful. So Maharaj, in this connection, before we jump to the next chapter, so why is liberation described as freedom even while the living entity is still in the body? So what is this concept of Jivan Mukta?
Two misconceptions. Number one is death is liberation. So when I am frustrated, let me commit suicide, become free. Is one conception. Tamoguna. Other conception is no, until unless you die, you will never be liberated. One is death itself is liberation, and other one is for being liberated, first you have to die, then only you can become liberated. Two are wrong concept, because the liberation is being described in Bhagavatam as Muktiritva Anyatha Rupam Swarupena Vyavasthitihi. What is Mukti? Hitva Anyatha Rupam, to give up all kinds of other rupas and being situated in Swarupa. And what is that Swarupa? The Swarupa is simple. Jiver Swarupa hai Krishna Nityadas. Jiver Swarupa hai Krishna Nityadas. So if you are practicing Krishna consciousness, serving Krishna, body, mind and speech 24 hours a day, Karmana Manasa Macha, Yayasya Harayardasya Karmana Manasagira Nikhilasu Pyavasthasu Jivanmuktasya Uchate. Nikhilapi Apyavasthasu means even though one may be living in this body, but still is called Jivan Mukta. He is liberated. Yeah.
Okay. So Maharaj, we are going to go to the next chapter, but before that, I would like to read one more feedback that's come for our Pariprashna 50th episode. So this is from Subhadra Mai Mataji from Bengaluru, Karnataka. So she's saying, "Dear Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much for giving your time and wisdom and kindness to all of us. The sessions are like perfect questions and perfect answers. Hoping this podcast will reach many more souls in the future. Many, many thanks to the intelligent questions by Aradhana Mataji. I had many questions in my mind and most of them have been asked by Mataji. Wishing you good health, Maharaj. With best regards, your servant, Subhadramayi Devi Dasi." So thank you, Mataji. Appreciate your feedback. So Maharaj, in the next chapter, right in the beginning, Kapila Dev is starting saying, "Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Yogasya Lakshanam Vakshye Sabijasya Nrupatmaje Mano Yenaiva Vidhina Prasannam Yati Satpatham." The personality of Godhead said, "My dear mother, O daughter of the king, now I shall explain to you the system of yoga the object of which is to concentrate the mind. By practicing this system, one can become joyful and progressively advance towards the path of the absolute truth. So, Maharaj, in this chapter, when Kapila Muni is describing in great detail about Ashtanga Yoga, but he emphasizes focusing dharana, dhyana, concentrating on the Supreme Lord. However, the Ashtanga Yoga described by Patanjali seems to be very different. So, what is the difference between the Ashtanga Yoga as enunciated by Kapila Dev in this chapter versus Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga?
The difference is very simple.
Mhm.
That is described as sabhijasya. Yogasya lakshanam makshe sabhijasya nipatmaje mano ye. So I am going to describe to you Ashtanga Yoga mixed with Bhakti. Sabija, taking support of Sabijasya. That is a difference between Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga and Krishna's 6th chapter Ashtanga Yoga and Kapila's Ashtanga Yoga.
Mhm.
Patanjali is atheist, though he says, I am accepting God, Ishwar Pranidhana.
Mhm.
Vyasa, while giving a commentary on Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he proved that he is atheist. Patanjali's Ashtang God is just some consciousness.
Mhm.
There is no understanding of real God. The Paramatma of Patanjali and Paramatma of real Paramatma, who is there in everybody's heart, is totally different.
Oh.
There are many problems with Patanjali Yoga Sutras.
Mhm.
So I've been doing this six systems of philosophy now.
Mhm. Yes.
So in this,
Mhm.
Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu,
Mhm.
while talking about these six systems of philosophy, one of which is yoga.
Mhm.
So he actually says this Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras, the soul is Pratyekatma. He talks about Paragatma, Pratyegatma,
Mhm.
and all these things he explains. And the same, he says that the problem with the Patanjali Yoga Sutras is like this.
Mhm.
He has no idea what is mukti, but he talks about mukti.
Mhm.
His mukti is maximum dukkha nivritti. Dukkha nivritti means what? Giving up miseries, material miseries. He doesn't talk about what happens to the soul after death.
Mhm.
Now, just because you do some gymnastics, yogi are indulging in all kinds of various sense pleasures.
Mhm.
These days, they are the name of yoga. What all things are happening?
Mhm.
Yoga for better sex. Even Patanjali will be surprised. So, Patanjali says, I accept God. So why are you rejecting me?
Mhm.
But your God is actually a theoretical God. Uh, now, the Siddhanta goes like this.
Mhm.
Mukti is merely cessation of pain as a result of yoga practice. And he talks about five vrittis of the mind, which is not supported by Vedas. Patanjali claims that I am Vedic, but he's not Vedic.
Mhm.
Now, he also talks about 5 kinds of modifications of chitta, right knowledge, false knowledge, desire, sleep, memory. These are not found in any Veda. So it is anti-Vedic. In this way, there are so many aspects of Patanjali Yoga Sutras are nothing to do with anything Vedic. They're rejected as Vedic. And mukti cannot be obtained by the method taught by yoga. Just by discriminating between Prakriti and Purusha, it is not going to happen. And Yoga Sutras are dependent on Sankhya, theistic Sankhya. So ultimately, yoga has to be rejected as much as Sankhya. Though Patanjali accepts God, Ishvara Pranidhanatvat, concentration may be obtained by complete concentration on God. But our Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, he says that in Yoga Sutras, there is no absolute necessity for you to accept God. You can accept, you can meditate on God. It is another alternative. Whether I meditate on a black spot or meditate on God, it's an alternative. If you want, if you're a theist, no problem. You can be still a yogi. You can meditate on black spot. Or you want to meditate on Vishnu, you can meditate on Vishnu. It's an option. That means he has brought down God to some other objects of this world. So this is how it has been. Biggest flaw is that.
Okay.
God is not a necessary aspect for Patanjali. Of course, I cannot take the entire seminar in this time.
Yeah.
Some points which I spoke yesterday in the class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, Maharaj, in the first 12 verses of this chapter number 28, Kapila Dev is touching upon the 8 different limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, the Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhara, Dhyana, and Samadhi. So, if you can briefly touch upon these, Maharaj, what are these different angas of Ashtanga?
Yama means those things you're supposed to do. Niyama means those things you're not supposed to do. When you practice Yama and Niyama, which most important is Brahmacharya, and those things which you're not supposed to do is Astheyam, not to steal, not to take others' property, Parigraha. You're not supposed to accumulate more than what is required. Then only you're supposed to do asanas. Now, these days, people directly go for asanas.
Yes.
Yesterday, he got drunk and had all kinds of illicit activities. Morning, he's doing asana. Patanjali would not allow that. But these days, the yogis allow. And then after doing, why you do asana? The purpose of doing asana is Yama, Niyama, Asana, Prana, so that you can sit and then do pranayama. Rechaka, Prechaka, Kumbhaka. By doing so, you are able to control your mind. Why you have to control your mind? So that you can do pratyahara. In the mind, the senses are there, the sense objects are there in the mind. You remove the senses from the sense objects. It's called pratyahara. And there is dharana. That means then you try to concentrate your mind on a particular object and it is wavering. And that becomes perfect. It is called dhyana. And then you shift the object of meditation onto Paramatma in your heart and you don't know who is he. That is called samadhi. And there is samadhi, 2 kinds of samadhi. Samprajnatmika samadhi, asamprajnatmika samadhi. In a state of samadhi, you know what's happening. You are completely in samadhi, but still you are aware of things happening around you. That's called samprajnatmika. And there is a state where you're in total samadhi. Somebody comes and kicks you. You have no idea what's happening in the world. Uh, so, yeah, this is. But
Okay.
here in the spiritual practice, Krishna talks about a different kinds, this same thing, but with bhakti, with
Yes.
meditation on Krishna. That's the speciality.
Yes, yes, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, touching upon that speciality which you just mentioned, so in the Dharana stage, Kapila Dev very beautifully he says how one has to meditate upon one inside one's heart about this beautiful form of the Lord. But there he talks about the smiling face of the Lord and overall the form of the Lord, and then the way he progresses to dhyana. In dhyana, he goes like really deep dive into starting from the lotus feet of the Lord, the calves of the Lord, the thighs of the Lord, the navel, the chest, and the face of the Lord, the curly hair, everything, and to the extent that he even talks about the ornaments of the Lord, the Kaustuba jewel, and different things. And then he also talks about the various paraphernalia that Krishna is holding in the hand, the conch shell, the Kaumodaki, Gada. So, what is this distinction between dharana and dhyana, and this whole description that he gets into, the detailed description about the beauty of the Lord, different limbs of the Lord?
Yes. So, in the process of dhyana, you meditate on the different limbs of the Lord.
Mhm.
Then what happens is, he's so engrossed. Then he thinks, oh, the form on which I'm meditating on is like is material.
Mhm.
So I had to withdraw it. And he becomes an unfortunate yogi.
Oh.
That is called unfortunate.
Mm.
He is actually coming to the platform of actual uh, of complete samadhi, becoming a devotee. But because of not having the uh, understanding of what the transcendental nature of the Lord, then what happens? He withdraws his mind,
Mm.
and then he is lost.
Mm.
So, if he continues the meditation on Krishna, then he attains vairagya.
Mm.
That he is not attached to anything in this world. He is not attached to anything in this world.
Mm.
Finally attains liberation.
Okay.
Now, to such an extent,
Uh-huh.
he goes to the spiritual world. By practice of Ashtanga, devotion Ashtanga, one can go to the spiritual world,
Mm.
where there is no experience of death. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. So, Maharaj, very nicely you explained about an unfortunate yogi, but looks like here, like you said, this is spiritual Ashtanga yoga. So, how beautifully Kapila Dev explains. So, even if somebody is performing Ashtanga yoga, but if they do it like the way Kapila Dev is talking about here, eventually he or she will also become Bhakti yogi, isn't it, Maharaj?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. Wonderful. Very nice, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, what is the key takeaway about this Jnana Yoga section that Kapila Muni explained in the previous chapter and the Ashtanga Yoga described by him in this 28th chapter?
That is the key takeaway is practice bhakti and don't get attracted to jnana and ashtanga.
Mm.
If at all you want to practice them, you practice them with bhakti.
Mm.
Otherwise, it is a futile exercise.
Mm.
Jnana and yoga are a futile exercise.
Mm. Very nice. Succinct and to the point. Yes. So, Maharaj, before we move to the Brahmastra segment, I'll just read one more feedback that's come from Uma Mataji from Mumbai, Maharashtra. So she's saying, Namaskaram to Maharajji and Mataji. Grateful to all Pariprashna team. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So she says, like Arjuna, though an enlightened person, asked questions for the benefit of all of us. Mataji, similarly, though enlightened in both the scriptures, asks questions for the benefit of a dull person like me. Her art of questioning is exemplary. Maharajji answers are like that of Shukadeva Goswami, full of scriptural reference, and Maharajji gives present day examples to make it more clear. Each session helps us to dive deep into Srimad Bhagavatam and relish the nectar. I am deeply indebted to Maharaj and Mataji for starting Pariprashna and Maharajji for taking out time and enlightening us and making us relish both the scriptures. I am eagerly waiting for the episodes to come out in print. So thank you, Uma Mataji, for your kind and encouraging words. So Maharaj, now moving on to the Brahmastra segment. So since just now we were talking about how in Dhyana stage we meditate on the different limbs of the Lord. So I thought for our Brahmastra segment, I will just mention some of the deities in some of the famous temples, especially given that now you are currently in Vrindavan, some of the prominent temples there, and also a few other temples as well. So I want you to maybe just in a word, maybe an adjective or in a sentence, describe one prominent feature, just the appearance wise, that stands out for you in that particular deity. So in this context, I was just thinking one of the senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Her Grace Urmila Mataji. So she in one place was explaining how when she gave birth to her second child, she focused all through her pregnancy. She was in New York at the time, and she focused just on the belt of Sri Sri Radha Govind, just on the belt, to the extent that during her labor, she did not have to take any kind of medicine to cut down her labor pain. All through her labor pain, she just meditated intensely on the belt of Radha Govind, and very nicely home birth, she was able to give birth to her second child. So it goes to say how powerful these practices are and how nicely we can meditate on the different limbs, different ornaments of the Lord. So I will start from some of the temples from Vrindavan, Maharaj. So the very first deity, Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar, but this Radha Shyam Sundar from the ISKCON Krishna Balram Mandir.
She Radharani. When you have darshan of Radha Shyam Sundar, you will be more engrossed in Radharani than Shyam Sundar.
Okay. Nice. Next, Sri Sri Radha Govind.
Radha Govindji in Udaipur, in Jaipur. Original deities are in here.
Oh, okay.
You got a big head.
Beautiful. Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohanji.
He is in Karoli.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Lotus feet.
Lotus feet. So Radha Govind is for Sambandha and Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Abhideya, isn't it, Maharaj?
Yes.
Okay, so next for Prayojana we will move. Sri Sri Radha Gopinath.
He's also in Jaipur. Actually, I don't have a real picture of Radha Gopinath mind. But very interesting. The forehead has nice, wonderful spots of chandan they put. Nice decoration there.
Okay.
It's very attractive.
Yes.
You don't find those in ISKCON temples like that. They're all black colored deities and the spots on top. They're like stars in the sky and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Sri Sri Radha Damodar.
Radha Damodar is also in Jaipur. Radha Damodar Mandir. I always wondered how Yashoda could bind him. Actually, a very big deity.
So the original deities of Radha Damodar carved by Rupa Goswami. So you're saying that those deities are in Jaipur?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They're not carved actually. They're all originally established by Vajana.
Oh,
Krishna's great grandson.
okay, okay. Interesting. What about Radha Raman?
Oh, you can see even the nails from his fingers.
Oh.
That shows it's actually they're not carved. It's impossible to carve. They
Mm.
directly manifest from Shaligram Shila in front of Raghunath Gopal Bhattu Goswami.
Mm. So as it is, Radha Raman is quite small, and you're
Yes,
even going to the nails.
yes, yes.
Lovely. Okay. What about Bhanke Bihari?
Bhanke Bihari, they close the curtain quite often. The moment you have darshan, your heart is not filled. Immediately close the curtain. Again, you have to wait for some time.
Mm.
Because I don't know why is he like that. Wait now till completely we are satisfied. Anyway, we cannot be satisfied by having darshan of Krishna.
Mm. Wonderful. Then this next again is Radha Shyam Sundar, but I think they are in Shyamananda Pandit's temple, right? Mandir?
Yes.
Yeah, those details.
Very as if they are going to come out to hug you. That is that deity where the closest darshan.
Uh-huh.
You can go actually very near,
Yes, yeah.
as if they're just coming to hug you. That's
Mm-hmm.
the feeling you get when you go there.
Nice, very nice. So recently you were in Srirangam, so I can't help but ask Ranganatha Perumal from Srirangam.
Once I heard a lecture from one of the Sri Vaishnava acharyas. He was talking about the Amoda Stambhas. There are two pillars on either side of the entrance when you have Ranganatha in front of you.
Mm.
So he described that the beauty of Ranganatha is like an ocean.
Mm.
And the ocean waves, when they come and they hit you, you fall behind, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
So the devotees would hold on to those stambhas so that
Oh.
they would not be driven away the waves of the Krishna's beauty, ocean of Krishna's beauty.
Yeah. Wow.
So whenever I go there, I always think about it past,
Mm.
about that particular. Try to hold the stambhas. No experience of that, but still
Mhm.
thinking of that, it's also fine.
Wow, beautiful description. So from that stamba, we'll go to Jagannath stamba, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so enamored by the beauty of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sudarshana that he melted his fingerprints on the stamba. So what about them? You were recently there also in Puri.
Yeah, just go and hug him. That was the mood. Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. So mentally, we cannot do
Yeah.
it physically. Still.
Yes. Yes. Next, Maharaj, your most favorite deity is Sri Radha Madhav from Mayapur.
Oh, the eyes are so beautiful. Eyes of Radha Madhav,
Mm.
always. Even in your dreams, sometimes you see that eyes.
Mm. Nice. Then finally, coming to your own home ground, ISKCON Mira Road, Sri Radha Giridhari.
He looks very ugly in front of Radharani.
Oh, how can you say that?
Yeah, in front of Radharani, he looks ugly. So Radharani in Mira Road is very enchanting.
Mm.
So when you go, here is looking like this.
Mm.
He's completely enchanted by her beauty.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's the view. When Radha Giridhari, Radharani is so beautiful. Once
Uh-huh.
Mahanidhi Swami Maharaj he had come and told that he has seen many deities of Radharani around the world, he said.
Mm.
But in Mira Road, Radharani is exactly that Radharani who is in Vrindavan.
Jai. Wow. Thank you, Maharaj. Very, very nice. So, on that note, so I want to express, of course, each episode I say this, but on this 50th episode, so your flexibility, your spontaneity, and your generosity, your wisdom, I can go on and on with so many adjectives. So, It's only because of you, Maharaj, that we are able to continue episode after episode. So I hope that with your continued blessing, I beg for your continuous blessings, that may this one milestone become many more milestones for Pariprashna. So I'm extremely grateful to you. Thank you very, very, very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So thank you so much for your support in watching Pariprashna and sharing the wisdom of Pariprashna with others. We seek your continued support as we go from episode to episode. We have a long journey through Bhagavatam, and hopefully by Krishna Prabhupada's mercy beyond that also. So please spread this word that something like this is happening and connect more people to Pariprashna. So there we go. Today we have discussed two chapters, chapters 27 and 28. Kindly go through it at your own leisure, and we will come back in the next episode where Kapila Dev is going to talk about wonderful aspects of devotional service. So all that and more coming up in the next episode. We'll catch you soon. Until then, take care, stay inquisitive, and stay Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.